Hey everyone, the name's Eric Thor and I'm here to talk to you today about INFJs and evil INFJs and what happens. What is it that goes wrong in an INFJ? Well, I can't really explain that, I guess, but I can explain what an INFJ tends to look like when they are evil. And I will argue that the primary culprit for evil INFJs is not extroverted feeling in particular. I'm sorry if I've given that impression in the past, but I would say rather that extroverted sensing is the primary issue for an INFJ. What I've come to learn is that INFJs regard extroverted feeling as their mentor function. It's their higher awareness, it's their sense of pride, something they pride themselves on using responsibly. So I would not say that extroverted feeling is evil in INFJ or that it has a potentially negative influence. Of course, it can be misguided, but that's not the same as evil. I will argue instead that a problem arises when the fourth function takes an INFJ in the grip. When an INFJ is in the grip of extroverted sensing, what can happen is they can be completely possessed by the message or the story that they are telling. And the story that they are telling might have no basis at all in reality. It can be an exaggeration, a hyperbole that they keep on exaggerating and overplaying. And what happens here is extroverted sensing is a lot of the time about the volume. As a storyteller, you can use extroverted sensing to turn up the volume in anything you say. You can say it with greater strength. You can speak louder. You can speak in a way that attracts listeners, that draws people to you. And this can be such a kick for anybody, like being on stage and seeing people love you and feeling like all their expectations and everything, and realizing if I do not keep exaggerating this story, they will go away. True it is with introvert intuition, people don't really tend to listen to introvert intuition. Introvert intuition is such a silent function, it's such a subtle function, such a secretive function, that a lot of the time its presence goes unnoticed. But extroverted sensing, on the other hand, is such a real message, so concrete, so strong, it's hard to resist. Of course, extroverted sensing often comes off and creates an impression, either good or bad. People tend to either hate or love extroverted sensors. Even INFJs and INTJs who use this function, they come to be either loved or strongly hated. This is why I tend to say these figures tend to be symbol figures, because they just create such a strong impression. People just have to listen to them, even if they're idiots, or even if no matter what they have to say. Now, this goes, of course, for all extroverted sensing and introvert intuition types. And what tends to happen for an INFJ, I think, the reason INFJs can go so bad, like some pages even suggest that Hitler was an INFJ. I guess this is just because, like, that's what happens. People start with a small message or a vision and they start talking about it and people start listening. And the more they start exaggerating this message, the stronger they start talking about it, the more fiercely and the more wild they become, the more people listen and are drawn to them, no matter how stupid it is. And that's what tends to happen, something I'm very scared of all the time with politics, when a message starts getting a life on its own, when people start becoming hyperboles for their own cause, when I see feminists or liberals or libertarians or whatever saying things that are terrible or absolutely ignorant or stupid, just because it has a dramatic effect on people and because it attracts listeners. So, as an INFJ, consider the integrity of your message and consider how truthful and real your message is. Try to avoid hyperboles and try to seek the interest of people by communicating peaceful or at least thoughtful messages. That's the only thing I could warn for. But overall, when you're looking at those strong, crazy, evil people, don't just think, oh, this is an INFJ, this is typical INFJ gone bad. Consider the pathology behind it and consider the toxic nature of this person. This is not an accurate representative of an INFJ personality type. or any other personality type for that matter. This is an example of an unhealthy person. These are just my thoughts. What are your thoughts on INFJs gone bad? Thank you all for watching.